Yeah, I'm not sure.
Um, but yeah, we're gonna start with like a little 10-minute meditation. I'll have you guys turn off your mics and your camera. And then after meditation, I'll do a channeling. And then at the end, if there's any questions, we'll do them after the main body of what it was supposed to come through.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Can you guys hear my water?
Not really.
I don't think
My
so,
little
no.
fountain? Okay, good.
Well, I might be muted for the sake of the recording. And then I'm going to have, if you have a question, Steph, post it in the chat. And I'm going to have, well, I guess if it's just the two of us, you could just unmute yourself. First off, do you guys have any questions? Otherwise, there's no reason for me to plan all of this out.
Oh,
I didn't come up with any questions, to be honest. So I don't have any.
Oh, this is going to start costing you points, Ryan. Your grade's going to start going down. No, I'm just kidding.
I guess for me, my questions always seem to be more
Make sure you don't ask the wrong questions now. I'm just kidding.
practical or not practical, but like earlier today when I was asking between the one that we're doing in the house and the one that I have outside, like
Yeah,
I know
that's
that
a fun question. You know, like the mechanic.
uh
You know what, though? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
yeah, I guess when we're doing these, it's every 2 weeks with the full moon and the half moon. And then I guess for a visualization purpose, when we do these, is this like energetically like going down like acupuncture for Mother Gaia? Because that's how I think of it. Or am I getting too technical in my mind?
Yeah, I would worry
Trying to
more about
visualize.
well, the grid is not that so much as the little grid that you're making is just to emanate out a certain vibration in your space. So it's like
Mm,
gets you to be more conscious in controlling the energy of the space you live in. Um,
mm,
so it's not the same thing as doing the cairns. And that's like, do you know what I mean? Like last year I did that 3 times, 2 or 3 times. So like you're not gonna, I'm not, for one, that's not even a level one thing really, that part of it. And for two, even when it is, it's not something you do all the time, every time. Just like you go to acupuncture, but they're not just gonna keep hitting the same
yeah,
spot
Yeah.
necessarily. So the goal at this level is to get intuitively connected enough to understand when to do what, which is from not trying to do too much. That's why the meditative space of openness is more important. Being able to
mm,
consistently get in an open and loose meditative space is far more important than doing these specific processes because your ability to get in that space is how able you are to be led through what you need to do when you need to do
Yeah, that makes
gotcha.
sense.
it.
Thank
But lay
you.
down now. Go.
I guess my other practical question is I felt bad because the first one that I did with the red candle, I didn't let it burn all the way through. The orange one, I let it burn all the way through. And now I'm on the yellow
Bad
one.
things are happening to you now.
Right? Oh, uh,
You get better at doing these things as you go along, you know.
yeah.
It's not it doesn't help to be critical of yourself at any point, you know.
Mm,
So like getting
yeah.
through the process and doing it is the most important thing off the bat, and then getting down precision in the steps is the second thing. Not rushing to
Gotcha.
do everything perfect, but first just establishing doing it and then slowly making sure all the forms you're doing are correct. You know, and so this is a different way of doing things. A lot of times when we're
Gotcha.
learning how to do something, we're trying to get it automatic right away so we can just not focus on it. So I want you to kind of do that in the beginning, but then go back and reevaluate each part and make sure you're doing it all properly. reread the document, do whatever, you know,
Yeah.
you need to do
y-
to bring conscious awareness back to that habit, so it's not just an unconsciously set thing, because your perception is going to change as your state of being changes through doing all of those steps, and allow you to perceive more the essence of what I'm talking about. 'Cause definitely everybody's not
Mm,
reading it the same. You know what I mean? 'Cause it's not going to be nothing's interpreted the way it's really meant.
mm,
But the more out of the way you get, the more you'll be able to see, I think, what the point of each step is. And so, like, the actual energy work that you're doing during the ceremony process is in the prayers. So if you want to add a
mm,
visualization, add it into the prayers. So the whatever the prayers are, find a way to visualize the different elementals and visualize them coming in and doing the exorcism and the consecration, and imagining them being there. Imagine the earth spirit coming in and being present. uh, Find some sort of visual that works to represent those. But that is the core sort of intentionality that we're trying to get at with the energy work processes in the level one is written into the prayers. You know what I mean? We're first connecting to earth elemental energy, then we're calling them in, then we're asking them to do these specific works and these specific things. And so you could just imagine that as you're doing it. Just making sense?
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I guess I may end up leaving this part in. I was going to cut it out, but it might be helpful for everybody else too. All right, so that was kind of roundabout, but do you have a question, Steph?
No, I think that was it basically. Um, I'm bringing my little, I guess the only thing is, out of all the altars that I made so far, this is the only thing that my little,
Yeah,
my little guy from the desert.
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's my little man that, like, I feel like he's my little Lord of the Rings tree man that's like coming with me everywhere. I love him. He's like my little, giving me a hug. But this is the one thing that I've felt called to keep at each. I don't know, it's sort of playful. I like him. He's my little tree man.
Oh, and that's another good example of, so like, why it has so much energy, and it was because we were in the ceremony. You're in a more lucid space, so like you're able to put a lot of emotional energy behind things that normally you have these filters on that say, so it's just an ordinary thing, it's just a tree, whatever. Um, and then it's so crucial to know when to hold it and when to let it go, because it's like right now, as you're holding, you're continuing to build energy of it. You know what I mean? Even just right
Mhm.
now. It's and I think the base premise of it that I was getting at in the ceremony when that came up is that the core of was essentially enchantment, adding a secondary energy on top of an ordinary property, or an ordinary object, is at its core done through a sort of sentiment. You know, that's why, like, we'll
Mm,
burn things that are meaningful to us, because that meaningfulness is the evidence of stored energy. So
mm,
on the other end, if we want to store energy, we make the thing meaningful to us. Just like that thing,
mm,
just because it looked a certain way that evoked an emotional response. That's why I told you to keep it and understand that this is a type of, I think I was thinking of it as a consecration altogether at a time, but really the enchantment is
mm,
more like bringing a spirit of that emotional archetypal energy that you had at that moment, and putting
mm.
it onto that object and attaching to it, which is why when we look at it, it will re-evoke that feeling in us.
Yeah, I
And that's
like
where
him.
we get more into that with level two. Part of the level two stuff will be like, choosing a thing out and enchanting it with a specific archetypal energy. So calling in an energy and asking the earth spirit, the universal spirit, to bring in a spirit that matches that energy and attach it to this being, to this object. So maybe it'll be like something you wear or something like that. Maybe if vulnerability is your issue, focus on that, or one of the other chakras, or some other archetypal energy that seems relevant, um, for the individual. But yeah, all right. I guess
I
if
like
there's,
him.
we do have enough time on the front end. But yeah, we're about 7:20 right now. I don't think anybody else is joining. So do 10-minute meditation, and now do the channeling. And then feel free when I say I'm finished with the channeling, he might ask um, if you guys have any questions, if any questions come to you, just because you said you don't have questions now, um, something might pop up in the process or based on what he's saying or whatever. So leave that open ended. And otherwise, Steph, I'll have you turn your camera off too, and everybody mute their mics. And I'll start this timer and do a few minutes of deep breathing. Few deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Breathe in and in and in and Thank you for joining me for this communication. I am Hao Feng from the Sirian Triune Star System. To start, I would like to introduce myself a little more. I am a Sirian A+B hybrid, a combination of the genetics of beings found on Sirius B who are aquatic or semi-aquatic, and the beings found on Sirius A who are canid beings, much like your wolves and dogs and foxes. Both are cousins in a sense to your humanity on Earth. We are offshoots of the same tree who chose to develop in different ways. In a more general sense, the star Sirius is the primary spiritual guide of the Earth experience. We laid the foundation for this experience you are having now. And the reason that we helped create this experience that so many feel contempt for, the reason you helped create it, is to help reconcile the last remaining holdout vibrational patterns within this galaxy and some other galaxies. The Earth project was a taking of many themes that many parts of this galaxy have become thematically stuck in, so to speak. And by intensifying them and choosing to enter into this experience as some of the most advanced souls in this galaxy, by undertaking the transformation process of which you are now finishing what we call, or what you call, the ascension, the great awakening, the end times, you create a ripple in energy transmission that goes out to these worlds, a pattern of how to overcome these challenges and to move back into light and peace and oneness. We would like you to know that we view this as a great and noble task that every being on earth is accompanying, taking part in, helping to accomplish. And so this one, who is something of a contact specialist for the entire Syrian collective, will be now providing more energy transmissions and more verbal communications such as this through this vessel, going forwards as to help assist in this process that you all are undertaking within yourselves and collectively.
And now to move into the specifics we would like to touch on as far as the grid working and masonry training, as this one has chosen to call it. And we agree with the reason he has chosen to call it that. It is a process by which you will be constructing yourself to be a temple to house your own divinity, to allow it to emanate through your own physical being and become a greater experienced part of this world, to allow you to anchor divinity into this world. The steps presented in this level 1 training are a combination of rudimentary spiritual practices, which can be adapted to the individual, but each touches on an important aspect that will be needed in fundamental training for later, more advanced energy working. And so practices like meditation, learning how to habitually structure a meditation practice and stick with it for a period of time to fully develop it, learning how to do affirmation and appreciation and visualization practices that allow you a greater depth and understanding of the totality of your being. And then, as many of you know, it is a series of processes to do moon ceremonies, grid working ceremonies that are, in a sense, piggybacking off of this one's ceremony work, in which he has built a large grid across mostly the Southwest United States that connects into the Earth Spirit's energy grid, amplifying it, assisting it, returning energy flow to places where it is deadened, removing energy flow from places where it is excessive, balancing the flow of all the energies coursing through the earth. And so as you do these processes of setting up little grids within your space, living space, you are tuning your consciousness, synchronizing it with this grid, which will eventually lead into building upon it yourself, connecting in your own energy centers and pathways to allow an expanded and joint effort. And that is truly what this entire process is about, which is why we have led this one to be very selective about who he connects to in this way. Because what you all are doing together is combining your energies, your consciousnesses, your personalities to create a conscious joint collective around this group of energy work, around this process and these practices, that this one will be the focal point of and embody to create a sort of hive mind state eventually that will allow us to stay in constant contact with you and allow you all to lean upon this one who has trained himself to be a support system in this way for all of you. And so through the creating and embodiment of this conscious collective spirit, which has so much more weight behind it for the number of people involved than an unconscious collective, it will start pushing and tipping a great weight into the broad unconscious collective experience. By coming together and combining your intentions and energy into this joint creative process, you are not just adding it on top of each other, you are expanding and expounding on it exponentially, allowing it to grow and grow and grow. And the deeper you work these processes and truly commit to them, not through pressure, but through inspiration, the further and further this energy will carry, the deeper and deeper it will go into the subconscious and unconscious mind of the collective populace. This is the true body of the work. First, start awakening yourselves and then come together as awakened beings to combine your intention and effort to create the reality you would like to see, that the collective would like to see. One of peace and harmony and joy. And so as you continue to perform these steps, we will become more present in your experience. Our guidance will become more clear to you. Do not worry so much about reaching for answers or understanding as simply embodying a playful state with these practices and whatever else resonates with you. And we think that is the other important topic that we would like to discuss, is that resonance is your pathway to connection with your higher mind. As the lower mind, you are only able to receive, when you are cut off, general subtle impulses from the higher mind because the channel is too constricted to receive complex thoughts and ideas about why you need to go in this direction or follow this thought or idea or what have you. And so the structural navigation system that is built into your reality is centered around inner resonance. And this is not to be confused with emotional resonance. This is a passion-based resonance that exists above your general spectrum of emotions. It is the root of your negative emotions because when you move against this vibrational resonance, this core frequency that rests within your heart, you create a dissonance within yourself. And that is what you experience as negative emotions. When you let go of the ego and you let go of the discerning mind and you move up into the heart, this is when you allow yourself what you know as positive emotions. But the train, the thread to start pulling now is what resonates with you. What is it that calls with you? This one often uses the analogy of when you are walking on a space that has many rocks. Why is it that one rock stands out to you and not another? That is resonance. That is a vibrational communication that is happening. And as you honor your resonance, as it comes internally and you act upon it, you increase the capacity of that pathway to allow more and more and more clarity and understanding to come through so that you understand why you need to trust going left when resonance and impulse says go left instead of going right because your rational mind tells you to go right. We would say that that is the heart of our teaching. That you must learn to follow your resonance, and as you follow your resonance, it builds and builds and builds, creating a snowballing effect that carries you into an experience of enlightenment, experience of full connection between lower mind and higher mind. When you have opened this channel enough that a full merger occurs between these two states of self and they're able to be embodied in direct communication. This is the goal not just of the seeker, but it is the goal over the course of much time in our future of every man on earth. every human on earth. To achieve a state of true connection, of true depth and clarity into what divinity is. But it starts here. It starts with a few. It starts with simple practices, willing hearts, purity of intention. If there are any questions you'd like to ask, now is the time. Thank you for letting me serve you, for letting us serve you. You can turn your mics on if you want.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything to add, but yeah, thank you guys for
That was really
showing up and
good.
doing this with me. Thank you. Yeah, I'll figure out if I need to edit it at all and get it posted for everybody else to watch, or if you guys want to go back and retouch on it.
Like, it's definitely like it's a lot clear. It's coming in a lot clearer than the last time you channeled for me.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah,
I haven't been doing it either.
that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it felt good. Definitely excited to be doing this on a semi-regular basis. And I may even get inspired and do some other videos, just general channeling. Or I may see if someone wants to do a Zoom call like this and let me record it and ask some questions, and then I'll post those too on the YouTube as just like public open videos or something.
Mm, thank you.
Love you
I'm
guys.
feeling excited about going out in nature more now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Thank
appreciate
you,
you guys.
Yogi. I feel good. I feel very blessed.
Me too.
Thank you.
All right.
All
I'll talk to
right.
you guys soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.